Hello guys, it's Krayden here. Today I'm going to be making a few tutorial videos, and first of all I'm going to tell you how aggro and threat is actually generated, what the formula is, and then I will be giving the proper tanking rotation for knights. So first of all, let me open up my macros. Now, this is just a notepad. This is not like an actual macro for you to like copy down or anything. There's no point in you copying this, but it's just for educational purposes. Now, aggro generated is equal to the damage dealt times the skill's aggro modifier times the cumulative aggro bonus from all skills put together. This part is additive, not multiplicative. So normally, let's say if you hit a monster here for 30,000 damage, it's going to generate 30,000 threat. So we're going to use that as the base in our formula. So that's on an unmodified skill with no aggro bonuses or aggro reductions. So if you take that 30,000 damage times the skill aggro modifier, which Holy Strike has a 2.5 modifier, and right here it will say each skill level adds to aggro. That just means that when the damage increases, the damage increases. The skill's aggro modifier stays at 2.5. And the only other two skills that have different aggro modifiers than this is Whirlwind Shield, which has a 10% modifier, and Truth Shield Bash also has a 10-time modifier like Whirlwind Shield, but that is only when Holy Power Explosion is running. Otherwise, it's just like a straight 1 times modifier like every other skill. Oh, and Holy Seal also has 2.5 like Holy Strike, I forgot. Anyway, so 30,000 damage on a base hit from Holy Strike with a 2.5 modifier. And then you multiply that by all of your aggro stuff put together. You get 1 times from the base, which is just saying that the 30,000 is 30,000. That's the 1 times. Then plus 3% or 0.03 from the Tyrant item set skill you get from RT. Then plus the 136% or 1.365 from Threaten while your Threaten buff is running. Plus 54%, which I have Hatred X, so I'm using that for calculation. And 55% from Holy Power Explosion. Mine's only level 90, but I'm using that for just mathematical purposes. So you add all these together and you get 3.485. That's the number that you multiply by 2.5 times 30,000, and that equals 261,000 threat. Now that's a lot more than just the 30,000 that you would have done if you just done straight damage with no modifiers. So needless to say, you want as many aggro modifiers running as you can to increase the damage and increase the threat dealt. Now if you use Whirlwind Shield and it also hits for 30,000, you do 30,000 times the 10 times aggro modifier times the same aggro bonuses, and you get 1 million threat generated. So that means that Whirlwind Shield is a lot better skill to use, so use that every chance when it's up. But I will advise to use Whirlwind Shield only when the Threaten buff is running, because if you don't have that, you'll drop down to like a 2.1 modifier right here. So use that skill while your Threaten buff is running, and it will increase your aggro dealt greatly. Okay, and reduced aggro works like this. It's linear. If you have a negative 90% reduction, that's 1 million minus 90% equals 100,000 threat off of a 1 million hit. So that's easy to remember, but I'll take a second to stop this here if you want to just like remember that for any reason. It's not necessary, but if you want to, go ahead. Now I'll show you over here. I'm going to hit this mob right here. These guys are not going to attack back because it's some event or something like that where they stay engaged with the NPC and stay at 24% HP. Now I'm going to hit them with Threaten. You get this buff up here that says aggro created by attacks is increased by 136.5%. That lasts for 8 seconds. But the skill's cooldown is also 8 seconds, so you could virtually have this running all the time as long as you have a mob to hit, which is wonderful. So another thing to remember about Threaten is, though it says that it gets additional bonus damage from Holy Seals that are on the target, it is not necessary to have Holy Seals on the target, which is this thing that comes up from Holy Strike or Holy Seal. It is not necessary to have them to get Threaten off to get that aggro thing, which is great for when you're running through trash mobs and stuff, because that will boost all of the attacks that you do on them and help you keep aggro. So, okay, this is the proper rotation. First, you start with whatever buffs you're going to pop before to increase like your attack or attack speed or anything like that. And then you use Holy Power Explosion. You run in, use Threaten, Whirlwind Shield as fast as you can, followed by Truth Shield Bash. Then spam Holy Strike until Whirlwind Shield is up. And then use Whirlwind Shield, then Threaten, then Holy Strike, and just repeat using Holy Strike, Threaten, and Whirlwind Shield whenever they're up. And that will keep your aggro generated going. Now if you're fast enough, you can get 2 Whirlwind Shields into that 1 Threaten, because this is has an 8-second cooldown and this has a 6-second cooldown. So it should be 5 seconds before it's up again while this is still running. If you're not fast enough and they end at the same time, make sure you use Threaten before you use Whirlwind Shield again. That's something to keep in mind, because that is a lot of aggro you're missing out on if you use Whirlwind Shield without Threaten. And also use Holy Power Explosion every time it's up. Truth Shield Bash is your highest aggro generating skill because it hits a lot harder than Whirlwind Shield does. And yeah, but it has a minute cooldown, but on Night Priest the good thing is it has a 30-second cooldown. So use that whenever it's up, but make sure you use that while Holy Power Explosion is running, so you make sure you can have that 10 times aggro modifier. In most cases, when using this on a boss, it almost functions as a taunt. It grants that much aggro. So that is something to keep in mind. So the proper boss rotation once again is Holy Power Explosion, Threaten, Whirlwind Shield, Truth Shield Bash, Holy Strike until Whirlwind Shield's up, Threaten, and Holy Strike, Whirlwind Shield, Threaten, Holy Strike, Whirlwind Shield, Holy Strike, Threaten, Whirlwind Shield, Holy Strike, Whirlwind Shield. Yeah, you get it. And then once Holy Power Explosion is up, since it's up right now, then use Truth Shield Bash immediately. Again, make sure that Threaten is running while you use Truth Shield Bash, so you can get the most aggro out of that as you possibly can. So I'm going to end this video here, because I think that covered everything with the explaining aggro and the aggro rotation.